Yes, General in the Army of the Lord. I'm in the Army of the Lord. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Lord. Okay, so before we start, I am going to, quickly introduce all the guests that we have here. But before then, I want us to quickly take the opening prayer, and then the opening prayer is going to be our national prayer, which is the second stanza of the national anthem. So I don't know if I would really like to pray our indulgence. If you can please rise to your feet as we take the national anthem, the second stanza of the national anthem. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. So we have a volunteer that wants to help us. Someone help us. Okay, I can see and out there. We're all going to take it together, but I want someone to lead the second stanza of the national anthem. Thank you very much.
Yes. Please let's stand at attention as we take the second stanza of the national anthem. After the count of 2. 1, 2, go. Oh God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help us use the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living God's life true. Great was behind our day, to give the nation rest, peace, and justice shall reign.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for yourself. Mic check. All right. Going on. Mic check. Mic check. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Whilst they are doing that, when humans are, you know that you went to school, right? You went to school, and that was a very good one. Thank you very much. But when we were going to school, we had an anthem that we used to sing. I remember what the first national anthem of Nigeria. Thank you very much. You know that we went to school at the same time. She was my senior back then in secondary school. All right. Thank you very much. Very much. Okay. Sorry, I'm just really trying to get us in the mood. I know that our time is fast spent, but we need to get into the mood of the event today. So once again, I just really want to welcome everyone. You're all welcome here. And speaking about schools, we have public and private schools. Those of us that went to public schools, can we remember some of the songs that we used to sing back then? All right. Okay, so we'll come back to that. Okay, so please let's quickly welcome. I want to quickly do an introduction. First, the person I would like to introduce here and acknowledge, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner for Lagos State, Mr. Olusegun Agbaje, ably represented by, all right, thank you. He's ably represented by the Administrative Secretary of INEC Lagos, Mr. Adebisi Ajayi. All right, thank you. You're welcome, sir. All right, the second person is the INEC rep for Osun State, represented by Mr. Nuruddin. All right, you're welcome, sir. Then I want to recognize the representatives of the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Lagos State. Are you here? All right. I also want to acknowledge representatives from the Ministry of Justice, Lagos State, also representatives from National Orientation Agency, also from PDP Association of Nigeria. Again, we have representatives from Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities. All right. Then I also want to recognize the presence of Mrs. Adenike Tadeshe, HOD, the head of Department Voter Education and Publicity, INEC Lagos State. All right, you're welcome, very much welcome, ma'am. Also, we have in our midst Mrs. Benny Good News. She's the head of Unit Disability Desk, INEC Abuja. All right, you are very much welcome, ma'am. Okay, we also have Mr. Ope Akiola, Executive Director of Disability Awareness and Development Initiative. You're very much welcome, sir. Then we have Dr. Adebukola Adebayo, Disability Inclusion Consultant. Dr. Adebayo, you're welcome, sir. Then I have my wonderful moderator. She is Dr. Dolapo Agbede. She's the founder of Real Paradigm. Okay. Then finally, this person is very important to me. He's the one that's going to pay me my money after we are done here. So please, I need you to help me welcome him. The CEO and the founder of the Albino Foundation, Ambassador J. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And then finally, I want to welcome you all, everyone represented here. Please, can you kindly give yourselves a round of applause? Okay. All right. So straightforward, we are going to take the welcome remarks, and that is by the CEO, Albino Foundation, in the person of Ambassador J. All right. Please keep clapping for him as he comes. Such a good pleasure to finally meet you, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I want to first of all thank God for the opportunity, the day that He has made, the life that we live. It is humbling that God has chosen us to do what we're doing at this very season and moment. So I want to celebrate every one of you that made it to this event this morning. I want you to know that we all have a responsibility, and that responsibility is to serve our community. It is an awesome responsibility and a privilege that this generation will always remember us. It is said that you are known for two things. You are known for two things. One is the problem you create. The other one is the problem that you solve. And my simple advice this morning will be for all of us to be known by the problem that we will solve. With that said, I want to thank all of us as special guests of honor. But in addition to the list of all of us, I want to thank my sister Benny, who came to represent INEC headquarters. You are duly recognized. Goodness, very goodness, thank you. The representative of the rep of Lagos State, a very good friend. I was waiting to see him and receive him, but he sent somebody who is able to step into his shoes. So I want to thank INEC rep for sending a worthy representative. Thank you, sir. The HOD, thank you. The HOD of Voter Education Department of INEC in Lagos State, ma'am, I want to thank you. The representative of the rep from Osun, they say it's the state of Osun. I want to thank you for coming. I want to thank a dear friend of mine that at the point I will ask him to say a few words, or maybe I will do it just before I hand over the microphone. Dr. Yorofo was on his way out of Lagos this weekend, and when he heard that I was coming, he cancelled his flight and will have to make that thing from this call. So Dr. Yorofo, please come. When I'm done in the next 2 minutes, I would like to have you say a word. But Doc, please come with my bag. Okay, so with that said, Dulapo is one of the stars of our community. We are so proud of you. An engineer turned activist. Thank you. Many of you I'm not able to see from a distance. Is Dr. Adebayo here? Yes. Hey, Doc. We are proud of you. We are proud of you. And my brother, who is an IT guru with his wife, I can't remember your name from here, but we're proud of you. I feel like just greeting and mentioning everybody, but before I spend another 1 minute and tell you why we are here, I want to publicly appreciate, and I'll ask you please to stop whatever you're doing and come. The program manager of our Video Foundation, Dr. Ndifiri, come, please come. The communication officer of the Video Foundation, please come. The HR of our Video Foundation, please come. The auditor, if we mismanage money, that's the person who floods us. Please come. I particularly chose to bring them out for everyone to appreciate this wonderful and energetic team. And it's important to say that they only invited me to come and be part of this event. These four I wanted to use this opportunity to appreciate all of you for the good work you've done. I never made any contribution to what is happening here. I'm just like a guest, just like you. So please take a bow and thank you for your wonderful work. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So with that said, hello? Okay. Let's have one house. Okay, so with that said, today, Lagos is so pivotal to what we do and what we're doing, because we chose you to be the grand finale of Able to Vote campaign. We are ending the zonal outreaches for Able to Vote campaign with Lagos. But that's not the end of the campaign. In fact, we're just starting. Because we are trusting God that we will support organizations and associations within states so that they can scale up this initiative. The whole objective of this is to bring you face to face with INEC and CSOs so that you can ask all the questions that you need to ask and get all the answers that you deserve. So the day has come, and that day is now, that all of us will rise up, take the bull by the horn, and make the most of political participation of persons with disability. I charge you and I challenge you today that if this country is looking for a president, you are the one. If this country is looking for a senator, you are the one. If this country is looking for a governor, look no further because you are the one. If this country is looking for a House of Rep member, look no further because you are the one. I'm a little bit taken aback that even when I'm saying you're the one, you didn't clap for yourself. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we have a wonderful opportunity before us. And that opportunity is the fact that for the first time in the history of the electoral process in this country, that persons with disability will constitute approximately 16% of the entire electorate. 16% of the entire electorate. There's never been any time better than now that this community is coming together and said, not only are we ready to vote, we are ready to be voted for. Are you listening to me? Not only are we ready to vote, we are ready to be voted for. So this is your time. This is your moment. This is the right time for you to shine. They either give us the space or we will take the space. Yes. So I'm not here to do a keynote address, even though I'm taking a little bit of your time. But it's important that we take advantage of every opportunity that the moment is presenting for the community of persons with disability. I want to leave you with this. In leadership, it's always important that we understand the process of leadership. That oftentimes, leadership don't start from the top. Leadership starts from the bottom, going to the top. Where I think we have missed it, and we must correct it now. Where I think we have missed it is that we have become practically too high-minded, in a sense that you don't have the political pedigree and you want to be a senator. You don't have what it takes and you want to contest for governorship position. I think we need to right this wrong now. The window we have that we need to take advantage of is in the local government. And that's why my charge to you is, let's look inward and go and become councillors, become chairman of local government. Why? Because That's the community where you were born. You are known. And you will get opportunity because your people know you. So let's go back and reverse the wrong that maybe we have done, or maybe my generation have done, by trying to look to high offices that we don't have the high resources to reach. Let's go back to the grassroots and become councillors, become chairman of local government, and from there we can build to the top. Ladies and gentlemen, let me end by saying to all of us, please look at me, for those of you who can see me, look at me and please listen to me. This is my last thing. I want you to remember the very day you were born. Think of what happened. In case you have forgotten, this is what happened. You cried. And everyone around you rejoiced. You have a singular opportunity to live your life so well and so impactful that the day you die, you will rejoice and everyone around you will cry. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a life of contribution. Live your life so well that people will cry at your funeral because they are not sure the next person leaving will impact their lives like you have impacted their life. Live for posterity, and eventually prosperity will follow. Live for posterity. What would you be remembered for? What will people say at your funeral? That is what counts. So I'll leave you with that, and thank you for coming. This is the only time you will hear my voice. That's why I have taken time to talk a little bit. So thank you, and thank you for the team from the ABLE Foundation. I am humbled and privileged to lead. Now, MC, before you say a few words, I think my friend wants to leave for the airport. Please help me welcome Dr. Uche. Dr. Uche is a family friend, but the ethics and value coach. Every other thing he says he is, I don't agree, but ethics and value.
Hello. Nice to be here. We thank God for everything. Mr. Jack compelled me to stay. I think it wasn't my wish to stay. He had to compel me to stay. And I'm happy to see a situation like this. The good thing is that I had a sister who was physically challenged by her eyes. But in her, I learned one lesson. That lesson was, of course, that champions are not made by size. It's not size that determines champions. It is not your physicality that determines who you are. Most of who we are is determined by the mind. The eyes of the mind sees a lot. Because she stopped seeing from 1984 when she just left a middle school. But she left this world a professor in UNN. That tells you the power of the mind, the power of resolve. Like what Jack just said, you have all it takes to contend for whatever. Money plays role in politics. Not too long before now. I don't know how much it will play now. But in that only playing a role, you also came from a community where they know you. Start small. Your counselors will not be the man that is everywhere that will make the most noise. Don't ever see yourself as a person that cannot give service. You know a lot those people don't have. You also have a lot people you don't have. I was discussing with somebody as I came in and said, what you lose somewhere, God filled it somewhere. And most of those things are also, you must learn to turn challenges to opportunities. So if, imagine if Jack saw himself as a builder and sat down somewhere, refused to do what he's doing today, he wouldn't have, he would have just been packed somewhere. Am I making sense? But Jack said no, in his mind, I'm not what they say I am. You can change your name. They call Jabex, whatever they call it. He said, that's not my name, I changed what I want to become. And he became what he said he wants to become. So I urge you this moment, from now, let your mind begin to tell you who you are, not what the world or what physical ability says what you are. Your mind tells you who you are. Election is by the corner, and I thank God for these privileges, for this opportunity. Now you won't go there to vote as nobody. You go there to vote as a contender. Let people around you know it is a right. It is a right that must not be denied. It's not just about the election, about everything. It's about everything. You must make sure that this your right is secured. If they don't hear your talk, you shout. If they don't hear your shout, you cry. Anyhow, they must hear. So with that few goodwill, I want to thank Jack for his strength of character in this pursuit. I've been with him in Abuja and I know how he moves. These things don't come. If they leave some people with these things, we have gone on. But that is the power of the mind. So let's begin to see what the mind says we are, not what physical ability says we are. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, thank you for staying. We have not learned anything today. We have learned that champions are not made by sight, but by the mind. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you, our CEO. Thank you very much. You have told us that INEC will count our votes, but what really counts is how we live. And we're not going to forget that. But sir, you forgot to call me when you were calling everybody or your team members. I will not be angry, but I want to announce myself. I am the adopted son of the CEO and founder of the ABLE Foundation. And from this moment onward, there will be a seat for me in the office. So thank you very much. Thank you for clapping. All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, we are going to take the goodwill messages, and we are going to take 3 messages. And then each of them would have 3 minutes to quickly talk to us. Okay, so the first person that I'll be calling now is the Administrative Secretary of INEC Lagos, Mr. Adebiyi Ajayi. Please, a round of applause as he comes up. You're welcome, sir.
Distinguished participants, good morning. My honorable rector brought to be here. He has prepared to be here, but an urgent message came for him to attend to an official engagement this morning. I bring this message to you. distinguished participants, it is with great delight that I welcome you to this very important program, codenamed ABLE2VOTE campaign, organized by the ABLE Foundation, with a view to implementing voter education activities towards the participation of persons with disabilities in political activities and decision-making in our dear country. This event would not have come at a better time than now that the Commission is working around the clock towards ensuring that the conduct of 2023 general election is seamless throughout the country. As we speak, there are 14 items on the electoral calendar and program of activities of the Commission. Out of these 40 items, the Commission has successfully carried out 8 of these activities, and the 9th one is the electionary campaign that is ongoing throughout the country. Indeed, the Commission holds the issue of inclusivity in the country's democratic process with very utmost importance, as it is fully aware that providing access to all those that are eligible to choose their representatives in the political and decision-making process during election is central to any given democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commission is not leaving any stone unturned in ensuring that people with disabilities are properly carried along in the scheme of things in the electoral process. Apart from establishing a PWT liaison unit at the Commission's headquarters, Abuja, and all state INEC offices throughout the country, to foster very strong relationship with PWTs across the country, the Commission usually engages with PWTs to educate them ahead of every electoral activity. To promote inclusivity in the electoral process, it is forthright to consolidate the nation's democracy. The Commission has established a department for gender and inclusivity at the national headquarters, Abuja. The Commission also uses sign language interpreters during all stakeholders meetings, and we have a lot of steps being taken to ensure the inclusivity of PWTs in the conduct of the 2023 general election. I would not like to dwell on this because the next participants in the panel that will come later on will dwell more on this with some simulation for us to understand how the Commission wishes to go about the conduct of the 2023 election. And permit me to remind you that during the CPR, the continuous voter registration exercise, the Commission in the state created several registration centers across this state to ensure that PWTs registered as voters for ease of registration across all of government areas in the state. And when the class will come, by the end of this month, we will default the collection of permanent voter cards as well to the electoral works to ensure ease of collection. And may I inform you as well, whenever you come around for collection of your cards, be rest assured you'll be given preference among those that will come for the collection. The Commission also carried out expansion of its polling units. The essence is to ensure that our polling units are more closer to our people that participate in the conduct of election. For example, in 2019, in Lagos State, for example, we have 8,464 polling units. As we speak now, we have 13,325. The essence is to make polling units very closer to our people. Happy man BWDs. At this junction, I have no doubt, man, that the facilitators and panel discussants here will conduct this exercise in line with international best practices through the use of urban teaching and practical simulation methods to properly educate distinguished participants on various techniques and that will enhance stability inclusion in the political and decision-making process. I therefore urge you to participate actively and make meaningful contributions in this forum. On this note, I warmly welcome you once again to Lagos State, the Center of Excellence, the land of aquatic splendor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for that wonderful speech. All right, that was the representative of the INEC President Electoral Commissioner, Mr. Adebisi Ajayi. Himself is the Administrative Secretary of INEC Lagos State. Okay, so we are going straight up to the second goodwill message by the INEC President Electoral Commissioner of Osun State, ably represented by Mr. Olani Muide. Give a round of applause for Mr. Muide. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning to you all. I think special greetings from the Honorable President Electoral Commissioner of Osun State, Dr. Otiyu Olaleke Abuke. He's a person who is very passionate about the disability issues, especially inclusion of BWD in the electoral process. He's somebody who loves to be here in person this morning, but because of other pressing assignments of the commission that is ongoing, that is why he couldn't be here in person. Says, I should greet you all for the wonderful opportunity being provided by this workshop to brainstorm on how to reduce voter apathy and getting persons with disability actively involved in the electoral process, not only in the electoral process, but in other aspects of life, on equal basis with others. It is on this note that I would like to say that all what I have to say by the Honorable President Electoral Commissioner of Lagos State, being represented by the Administrative Secretary, Mr. Ajayi, has captured all the efforts the Commission has put up in ensuring full inclusion of persons with disability in the electoral process. I would not like to repeat all what you have said, but what I will add is that for us to know the importance the Commission INEC attaches to the inclusion of persons with disability in the electoral process, we are all aware that even before the Disability Act was signed into law in 2019 by President Muhammadu Buhari, the Commission has already developed a policy framework to ensure full inclusion of persons with disability in the electoral process. That policy framework is that INEC access or participation of PWD in the electoral process. That is to show that the Commission is very passionate about inclusion of PWD in the electoral process. Because what the Commission is doing, if persons with disability are not captured in our activities, that means we will not be conducting all-inclusive election. We are all aware that WHO, World Health Organization, has carried out a research that says in every given population of every country of the world, irrespective of the status, whether it is underdeveloped developing or developed countries of the world has about 10 to 15% of that population constitute persons with disabilities. If you are to go with this research, we discover that with the estimated over 200 million of the general population, we are having nothing less than 20 to 25 million people who are persons with disability in Nigeria. With this figure, we all discover that it's huge enough to be struggled, to be neglected by any EMP wishing to conduct an inclusive election. That is why the Commission deems it fit to partner with all developing partners and other organized CSOs working on inclusion of PWD in the electoral process. Today's workshop is one of the programs that the Commission is ensuring that persons with disability are taken care of in terms of their participation in the electoral process. INEC in Osun State has set a new record. And what is that new record? You know, we have just had our governorship election in July 16, 2022. We discovered that when we are recruiting adult staff, persons with disability are also qualified and they registered as other people. We went to NYC to take the statistics of standing corps members who are persons with disabilities to participate as adult staff in the election. Initially, we got about 38 standing corps members. We went to their account. So on the day of election, only 10 of them show up for the election. So, but it's a new record for the Commission that persons with disabilities who are corps members are actually involved in the as adult staff. Some believe that it can never work, and it worked out for us in Osun State. So we have set a new pace for other states, other island states of the Federation to emulate. That is number one. Number two, we have taken it upon ourselves in INEC Osun State to construct walkway, to construct ramp, in order to create accessible and working environment for persons with disability. We constructed this walkway to our media center because we do normally invite persons with disability as part and parcel of our stakeholders meeting. So the Governorship Chairman in Osun State, is here in this hall right now, can bear me witness of what I'm saying. We have constructed walkway, we have constructed ramp for them to be able to access our office easily with little or no help. So when they come for either visitation or meeting. So the Commission has put a lot of things in place to ensure that persons with disabilities are much more get involved in the electoral process. It is now left to us, the disability community in Nigeria, to take this advantage by getting ourselves involved actively in the electoral process. When the CEO and founder of the ABLE Foundation was talking the other time, he said about 60% of our voter register in Nigeria today constitutes persons with disability, which is about 84,072 out of over 3 million voter register in Nigeria. If you are to go by percentage, you say it's much. But to me, it's not much. We are not yet there. We haven't, in fact, we are not yet there. I want to see a situation whereby more percentage, more people, more persons with disability get registered as voters, because the number is what? It's more, 84,072 nationwide. And our figure is more than that. It's about 20 to 25 million people. So we can, if we vote in block, we can decide where the pendulum of the presidential election will swing. But we are not taking this advantage with our population. Please and please, my own good message here today, because my boss has said all the efforts the Commission has put in place to ensure your seamless participation in the electoral process. My own message, good message from the Honorable President Electoral Commissioner is that you should all take advantage of your population to get yourself actively involved not only as participants in the election, but what? Elected people into various offices. May God Almighty help us. Thank you and thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That was such a beautiful message. All right. Without further ado, I want to call on the chairman of the Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities, Mr. Stephen Oluwafemi. Come and read. All right. So the chairman of the Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities, Mr. Stephen Oluwafemi, as he comes up to give his goodwill message. You're welcome, sir. Welcome, Mr. Stephen. Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, distinguished personality here. My name is Stephen Oluwafemi, one of your colleagues from Osun State. I want to give a goodwill message concerning this task, that is the ABLE2VOTE Foundation and INED in Nigeria, with those who are participate in the process of the election in Osun and in Nigeria, according to what we are facing and we are experiencing now in Nigeria. You know, concerning what our INEC say in Osun, it is true, because we, persons with disability, we are now enjoying a new phase in Osun now, concerning the electoral process. We really appreciate the ABLE Foundation for their cooperate with INEC in Osun, make us see a better changes now. Because our people with ability can vote with magnified glasses, and we visually impaired, both low vision or everyone of person with disability, we are enjoying the easy access to our posting and election post. For instance, in Osun now, we use braille ballot guide for our election, for our governor election. So no anything we can call the non-avoid or whatsoever that by the time we are vote by ourselves without any assistance there, because we have our braille ballot guide. We really appreciate them. We really appreciate those who are taking one or two parts to make everything easy for us, most especially persons with disability. And we also, Oliver's Twist, always ask for more, because our brain dialogue guide is not enough. Although about when we evaluate, we have about 75% availability of brain dialogue guide in us. So we are still looking forward for more and the other assistance. Indeed, among of our persons with disability in Osun, we have many of them who get adult staff position in last election, in which make us be glad that we are truly included in electoral process. And we really appreciate those who are here, and I know by the time we leave this place, we will also have more another knowledge to assist us in our various states. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That was such a fantastic way to come to the end of the goodwill messages. All right, so without taking more of our time, I want to quickly welcome to the mic for the next 3 to 5 minutes the program manager of the Albino Foundation, Indifferently Ferdinand, to give us highlights of the Able to Vote, North Central, Northwest, Northeast, South, and Southeast programs that have been held. Please, let's put a round of applause for my sister from another mother. I've known her for a very long time now, for about 24 hours. Yeah, very long time. All right, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Nehemiah. Good morning, everyone. Please permit me to stand on existing protocols. Okay, so my name is Inspector Ferdinand, and I am the program manager for the Albino Foundation. So, like you know, Albino Foundation is implementing the Able to Vote voter education campaign. Yes, I'm a Nigerian. Okay. Báwo ni? Okay, Angel. I am not Yoruba, so okay. All right. Okay, so I hope Una did well. Okay, all right. So I'm just going to make a very brief presentation overview of the Able to Vote campaign, which started officially on October 19th at Abuja, the North Central. So I'm just going to talk about PWD available data. We're going to talk about the campaigns, key recommendations from each of the zones we visited, and of course the participation rate. Apologies, we are supposed to project this, but we had some technical hitches that has hindered us from doing the projection. So the Able to Vote campaign is the Albino Foundation's response to voter apathy amongst persons with disabilities. Like we have heard in various speeches given by our guests, the turnout of persons with disabilities in electoral participation was always low. And so we want to see an increased number of participation, active participation of persons with disabilities in the electoral process. And this is one of our many responses we have in place to address this voter apathy and also to increase the participation of persons with disabilities in elections. Okay, so this is an avenue to sensitize every one of us on our right to vote, but beyond that to also be voted for. So, like we have heard, the CEO gave an estimate percentage, but actually here in the Southwest, composed of Ekiti, Lagos, Ogun State, Osun, Ondo, and Oyo, we have a total of 14,418 persons with disabilities who are eligible voters. And generally in Nigeria as a whole, we have an estimated number of 84,072 persons, according to INEC TBR. Okay, so thank you. If you are clapping, please clap for Adrian. Okay, thank you very much. So we are doing well, but we want to see an increased number. And so we were in the North Central in Abuja on October 19th, and the key recommendations from that event, from that activity, was that sign languages should be, the experts of sign language should be deployed at polling units. INEC advocates that should be trained properly on proper utilization of assistive devices. Then adequate training of persons with disabilities on the requirements and processes involved during an election. And this is one of the things we are going to be learning from our panel session today. Also, we encouraged, all the participants were encouraged to collect their PVCs. And after that, so in Abuja, it was targeted at 1,000 persons. And we are proud to announce today that the event was massively attended, it was well attended, and we had a participation of about 1,026 persons. Okay? Thank you very much. And this was across persons with disabilities, spinal cord injury, amputees, wheelchair users, persons with physical disability, visually impaired, hard of hearing, and others. And then we moved on to, from Abuja, we went to Kaduna, that is northwest. Okay, and in northwest, it occurred on October 22nd, and key recommendations were that security should be reinforced, especially at polling units, because should something happen, then what happens to persons with disabilities? Then INEC was encouraged to increase and improve their implementation processes and policies on enabling PWDs to participate effectively in electoral processes. Also, PWDs were encouraged to stand up for themselves and support themselves. So beyond being able to vote, beyond being able to be voted for, have you picked up your PVC? And how prepared are you to go out there and make sure that your vote counts? Also, they were encouraged to apply and be enlisted as INEC ad hoc staff, and also contest for elective positions. You are able to vote, but you are also electable. Okay, and it was targeted at 100%, and we had a participation of 178 participants. From Kaduna, we moved to Northeast Gombe, and this was on October 31st. Okay, and the key recommendations were political parties and their executives should be involved in in-depth discussions on inclusive political perspectives. Accessibility to polling units, availability of assistive devices, and priority voting should be improved upon by INEC and CSOs. Then Able to Vote campaign, the one launched by the Albino Foundation, should be stepped down even to the grassroots level. Also, again, it was repeated, INEC adult staff should also include PWDs. The participation was targeted at 100 persons, but we had a rough estimate of 202 participants. Okay, and from Kaduna, from Gombe, sorry, northeast, we moved towards the south. And the first place in the south we went to was south in Rivers. So this was on November 7th. So key recommendations were voter sensitization, just continue doing it until the election day. Then registration of voters among PWDs to be improved. Then INEC should collaborate more with JONAPID and the leadership of JONAPID for effective mainstreaming strategies. Also, political persons with disabilities should be included in activities conducted by political parties. It was targeted at 100 persons again, and we had a rough estimate participation of 107 persons. From Port Harcourt in Rivers, we moved to Enugu, southeast, and that was just last week Wednesday, November 16th. So here, instead of recommendations, we came up with key takeaways, lessons that we learned. So number one, from the presentations made by the panelists, we understood that 2023 elections is going to be free, fair, and very, very inclusive. Inclusive of persons with disabilities, inclusive of women, and of course youth and minorities, even if the internally displaced person. Then also, one key lesson we learned from the security personnel we had was that your voter card is your gate pass. So once you have the voter card, forget your disability, you'll be allowed access to whatever you need. Then, most times, on the issue of fear and insecurity, it was highlighted that these are only instigated to, cause fear among citizens, which can prevent people from coming out to vote. So please do not be afraid, but disability continues. The non-participation of persons with disabilities in the electoral process tilts towards voter apathy, which is why we are encouraging you today to get your PVC and also to come out to vote. Then financial constraints can hinder interventions, especially by INEC for specific cluster needs. So this came as a result of a request by participants that sign language interpreters should be made provided at every polling unit. This is not something that INEC can do alone. So CSOs, NGOs, OPDs were encouraged to work with INEC to ensure that individual cluster needs are met. Then, beyond societal attitude to PWDs, members of the disability community, you need to reflect on your attitude towards one another. And we had a good participation of 179 persons. So like we have said over and over again, today marks the grand finale of the zonal voter education campaign, Able to Vote. But beyond this, we are counting on you. We believe that we are all champions for disability inclusion. So tell your neighbor. In fact, how many of you have your PVCs here? Please, if you have your PVC, raise your hand. Okay, awesome. As a matter of fact, our communications officer would like to make a very short video, just showcasing that even though we are disabled, okay, we have ability in us and we are able to vote. So if you have your PVC with you, just communications officer, let's see you please. Okay, so she's right over there. After the event, please meet her with your PVC. Just a snapshot, a short video. Thank you. All right. So remember, we are champions for disability inclusion, and you are able to vote. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Dr. Ferdinand. That was such a brilliant, you know, speech. I know someone was asking you if you are from Nigeria. But sorry, please, what were you saying that time? Ejo. Ejo. Is that supposed to be Yoruba? Is it Ejo or Ejo or what? When you trying to say Ejo? Wow. Ejo, look Ejo. Wow. You are Ferdinand indeed. This is a round of applause for my sister. All right, all right. So we have come to a fantastic. Sorry, Mr. All right, so we have come to, sorry, I apologize for that. We have come to a very vital point in this event, and we are going to be having now the panel session, right? I have written, all this while for this session. So straight, I'm going to tell us the topic of this session. We're going to be discussing security issues around disability and prevalent gaps in electoral rights of persons with disabilities. And I am very excited to invite my able moderator in person of Dr. Dolapo Agbede. She is the founder of Real Way Paradigm. She's a lead consultant. She's a lead researcher, and she's a very known voice for disability. She's just fantastic. A voice of disability inclusion in the tech world. If you have heard of C++, JavaScript, Python, all of this is the tech guru right here. And I'm happy to announce to you that this is my adopted mother. I'm here on adoption today. As the chairman with my adopted father, this is my adopted mother, and I'm their adopted son. So you're welcome, very much welcome, man. All right. So straight on, I'm going to call one of the panelists. This is Mrs. Adenike Tadeshi. She is the head of department, voter education and publicity, INEC, Lagos State. Please, can you come forward? All right. Okay, so Mrs. Tadeshi is going to be talking on interventions to promote the electoral rights of the PWDs. You're very much welcome, man. All right. Okay, left. Okay, all right. So Mrs. Tadeshi is just by your left. All right, directly. Okay, the next person I'm going to invite is Mrs. Benny Good News. She's the head of unit. Thank you. Disability Desk, INEC Abuja, all the way from Abuja. And then she's going to be talking about the voting requirements and procedures. You're very much welcome, ma'am. Right, she's coming up stage. Yes. All right, so she's directly to your right. Yeah, welcome, ma'am. Okay, so the next person I'm going to call in, our next panelist, is Mr. Okwe Akiola. He's the Executive Director of Disability Awareness and Development Initiative. And he's going to be speaking on efforts of promoting issues of disability rights, protection, and elections. You're welcome, Mr. Akiola. Right, Mr. Akiola is coming up stage as well. Okay, so she's going to be at the extreme left. You're welcome, sir. And then the last panelist is going to be Dr. Adebukola Adebayo, the Disability Inclusion Consultant. Dr. Adebayo is a Disability Inclusion Consultant, and he's going to be speaking on the preparedness of the community to vote, possible barriers, and individual cluster needs. Please, a round of applause once again for Dr. Adebayo. All right, Dr. Adebayo is also mounting the stage. All right, okay, so since me too, I need to learn one or two things. I have my Bible and my paper, and I can't really tell you anything about voting. If I tell you, you might not be able to vote after all. So I'm going to hand over the mic straight to the moderator, Dr. Dolapo Agbede, the founder of UWay Paradigm. All right, ma, over to you, ma.
Thank you so much, esteemed MC, and welcome everyone in the room. Again, we are welcome to this finale for the Able to Vote campaign led by the Albino Foundation. And we want to welcome very specially all participants from all the 6 states of the Southwest region of Nigeria. So once again, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for being here. You are the most important reason that we are here up on this panel. And one of the reasons, one of the things that I want you to make sure you do is I need us all in the audience to understand that we are ambassadors of the Able to Vote campaign. What does this mean? You are here so that you can take the information back to our communities across the 6 states of Southwest Nigeria to make sure that no one in our community has an excuse. Are we ready to do that for our people? Yes or yes? Are we ready to do it? Yes or yes? So, in as much as we will give you information from the panel, please prepare your questions. You are the reason why we are here. Please give us some attention to make sure that the information we'll be sharing, at least take notes so that you can go and give the correct information when we get home. Just in case, based on what you know of what is going on at home across the 6 states of the Southwest, just in case there are some aspects that this panel will not cover, it is your duty, please, to highlight them in the question and answer period. Are we ready to do this for our people that we're going back home to? Yes or yes? So thank you so much for your commitment to pay attention. So ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you our panel, and I'll be starting from my left side. Madam, I'm going to hand you over the microphone. We especially, we're excited, of course, Lagos is host. We want to know the things that you face and everything you believe that we should know. As you can see, we are ready to take the message across. or wherever that there might be gaps, we're also ready to share, hoping for good answers. Welcome, and please give a round of applause for Madam.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I want to step out to the podium. Thank you. Thank you very much. All protocols duly observed. I feel highly honored and privileged to stand before this first gathering to speak on the topic, interventions to promote the electoral rights of PWDs under the general theme, voter education to reduce voter apathy to the barest minimum and promote the mainstreaming of PWDs in the electoral process, organized by the Albino Foundation ABLE2VOTE. Permit me to state right away that this topic is timely in terms of the potential impact of the PWD's participation in the electoral process, and particularly in the conduct of the forthcoming 2023 general election, which from all indications promises to be another giant stride in the annals of voting and advancement of democracy in Nigeria. And to start with, what are the electoral rights of PWDs? Let me first of all define what is a right of an individual. A right is a moral or legal claim to have or get something or to behave in a particular way. It refers to the things or activities to which a Nigerian citizen is lawfully entitled without fear of prosecution, discrimination, or any form of hindrance. The electoral rights of PWDs are in no way different from the electoral rights of ordinary Nigerians, as clearly spelled out under the Constitution and approved discrimination against persons with disability Prohibition Act of 2019. But for certain privileges and exceptions that are safeguarded to promote inclusive electoral process, societal integration, and protection due to disabilities. According to the World Health Organization 2011 World Disability Report, about 15% of Nigeria's population, or at least 25 million people, have a disability. This figure is almost the size of 3 or more West African countries combined together. Therefore, all efforts to ensure the streaming of persons with disability in political, social, and economic participation in the affairs of this great country are welcome and should be encouraged at all levels of governance. And it is also worthy of note to state that Lagos State government should be commended for setting the pace by passing the Lagos State Special People's Law 2010 to address people with disabilities in Lagos. It is therefore instructive to identify the electoral rights and responsibilities of PWDs to properly dimension the Independent National Electoral Commission's intervention programs to support, promote, and enable the exercise of those rights by PWDs. And one may want to ask, what are my voting rights? The right to vote, also known as suffrage, is an important part of our democracy. It is defined as the right to vote in public, political elections, and referendum. Every citizen has the right to vote regardless of faith, ethnicity, gender, education, or disability. The right to vote is an indispensable right and the pivot upon which democracy rests. Then I want to quickly run over the voters' rights and responsibilities. Right to register. You will recall that last year, 2021, we embarked on a continuous voter registration exercise, which involved all Nigerians, all eligible Nigerians, if they are 18 years and above, irrespective of disability. We always do this a year to any election year to ensure that we capture all eligible registrars. So we concluded this exercise precisely July 31st, 2022. And all eligible registrants that were willing to come out to register were captured. And I want to say that in Lagos State, we were able to register for the CBR, we were able to register disability and the PWDs of different clusters. We were able to register 5,003. And like my colleague in Osun State said the other time, in nationwide, during the CBR, we captured 62,812 for the CBR, and for all the register of PWDs nationwide that will conduct the 2023 general elections, we have 84,062. And we should see that it's not as if we don't have more than these PWDs in each state. But some people, for one reason or the other, we always say, do not marginalize yourself. We don't want to be marginalized, and we should not even marginalize ourselves. We should see ourselves as one of the able bodies, because all the potentials the able bodied people have, you also have it. So I want to believe that for those people that came out during the registration exercise that were concluded in July, they have that right to also come out on election day to perform their franchise. Like I said, they have the right to vote and be voted for when registered. Every person who has satisfied the requirements laid down by the law is eligible to vote and be voted for. Do not look at your disability. You have that right to come out and register and vote, and also to be voted for. Then you have the right to secrecy when voting. Voters have the right to mark their ballot paper for the candidate or for the party of their choice. And INEC, my colleague upstairs here will also tell us all the voting procedures. I don't want to go into that. She has the mandate to do that. And also you have the right to information about election. The voter has the right to be informed about the details of the election, so that time, dates, procedure, like she will do. Then you have the right of access to the polling unit as well. Then going by these interventions to promote the electoral right of PWDs can be broadly categorized into three. I'm basing my presentation on three categories. These are consistent with and complementary to the Commission's objectives of mainstreaming PWDs into the political and electoral process for the nations to derive optimum benefits from all our citizens, irrespective of gender, education, tribe, religion, faith, or stability. And these are: one, the constitutional protections from matters pertaining to PWDs, the Electoral Act 2022, and the innovations of the Independent National Electoral Commission for an enhanced and inclusive and accessible electoral process for persons with disabilities in Nigeria. For the constitutional protection of matters pertaining to PWDs, President Muhammadu Buhari signed into law the Discrimination Act, Persons with Disability Prohibition Act of 2019. The bill legally protects persons with disabilities from discrimination, integrates such persons into the society, and establish a commission for PWDs. It equally signposts the policy directives on matters such as participation of persons with disabilities in the electoral process. And I want to say, and I strongly believe, the operationalization of this bill will address certain gray areas on political participation and disenfranchisement of persons with disability. Now, I want to combine the Electoral Act with the new innovations we have in INEC. In line with the Commission's vision to become one of the best election management body in the world, and the mission to conduct free, fair, credible, and all-inclusive elections that meets the aspiration of the Nigerian people, the INEC came up with a framework on access and participation of persons with disabilities in the electoral process that was launched prior to the 2019 general election. And the outcome of the policy says, INEC created a dedicated department at the national headquarters that we call Gender and Inclusivity Department. And we have this replicated in all the states of the Federation. We have it as a unit. We call the unit Disability Desk Officers. We have them as desk officer at the state and even the FCT. And this, given urgency, this desk, their own mandate is to give urgency to address pre, during, and post-election matters pertaining to PWDs at all tiers. And Lagos State is not exclusive of the stability desk officer. And secondly, to mainstream PWDs into the electoral process with the aim of mitigating the challenges confronting persons with disability as voters, aspirants, candidates, political party officials, or as staff of the commission. I want to tell you that we have staff of the commission employed as staff of the commission that they have one disability or the other. I came from, transferred from Abeokuta, that is the state, not quite long, some few months ago. And I want to categorically say that we have like 2 of our staff that are that belong to the PWD class. So we are not, INEC is PWD friendly. In fact, the chairman of the commission, Professor Mahmoud Yaku, he has that passion for the PWDs. And that is why we have even put so many innovations in place to ensure that the PWDs are mainstreamed into the electoral process and that we make it seamless for you to come out and register and even to exercise your franchise on election day. The Commission is therefore committed to providing full and equal access to all the eligible citizens, regardless of their physical condition, in the discharge of our mandates of conducting free, fair, credible, and peaceful elections. It is in line with the above that the Commission put in place the following measures to further foster the participation of PWCs in the electoral process. The Electoral Act 2022 made provisions for their inclusive participation, as I want to state. 1. Expansion of voter access to polling units, just like my Oga said the other time. This expansion of voter access to polling units is to further ensure units were decongested. In the previous election, you will see that we have like 800, 1,000, even 1,005 in a unit voters. And you can see that this makes our election to span to later and even to ensure that we have sizable number. Our threshold now is 750 per unit. And in Lagos, I want to say, initially we had 8,000 plus polling units. But after the expansion of the polling of the voter access to polling units, now in Lagos State we have 13,325. This also will assist our PWDs to cast their votes as early as possible. Although INEC has that plan that the PWDs, the pregnant women, the aged ones, the nursing mothers, we give them first line charge when we come to either to register or to vote on election day. So you can come at any time. Once we cite you, you'll be the one to be attended to first. For people with visual impairment, the Commission has designed braille ballot guides to ensure that the literates, ones among them, can cast their votes without interference. Buba, video, please come forward, come and assist. Now, on election day, we used this in 2019, and I believe and I know, I want to categorically say that we will use it in a 2023 general election. This is how the braille ballot paper will look like. No. The ballot. Yes, hello, listen to me. The ballot paper will be printed. We will now put inside. This one, I thought it was for 2019. Now in Nigeria, we have 18 political parties. So this one, we are just showing you as a specimen, as an example. If you want to touch it, you can pass it around for you to touch. So for this 2023 elections, we will have something like this. The ballot paper will be put inside for the literate ones to really trace and cast their vote without any interference. You don't even need to bring anybody to assist you if you are literate and can make use of this braille ballot box. So you can pass it around, see how it looks. That's a specimen. I'm not saying this is what we are going to use for 2023. I'm only saying it's a specimen we used in 2019. And for the country also provided magnifying glasses for the albinos. We make use of this. This is the magnifying glasses and for the partially impaired voters. So we can make we will deploy all these into our polling units, which we did in 2019, and we will also replicate the same in 2023. So this is the magnifying glasses, and the other one that is being passed around is the gray ballot. So please, you can take it back. And meanwhile, for those people that are illiterate, that cannot really read and write, like I said, not everybody can make use of that. Ballot paper guide. You have that opportunity of going to your cubicle, to the voting center with the person you so much have trust in. Hello, are you listening to me? Okay, so you can go with whoever from your, might be from your family, because we don't want any poll official. No poll official will want to help you. Because for one thing to say, I want to vote for party A, and for somebody that has preference for another party, put your hand on party G. So take your child, take your sister, whoever that you so have trust in, accompany you to the polling units and to the cubicle so that you can vote freely for party of your choice. Meanwhile, Section 54, Subsection 2 states that the visually impaired and incapacitated voter will be accompanied, just like I said. So, Section 54, Subsection 2 of the 2022 Electoral Act really stated that. And for the leprous persons, the new innovation in the electoral process is the use of iPad. Let me expatiate on this. Initially, we were making use of DPCM, Direct Data Capturing Machine, to register all eligible registrants. But we could see that on election day, some fingers were unable to be captured. And you know, if the DPCM did not capture your finger, you might not be able to vote. But INEC has gone to make use of this game changer, this INEC voter enrollment device. What this one will do, and I know we make use, for those people that came out during registration, what this one will do is that it will capture your fingerprints and your facials. So on election day, if your fingerprints cannot be captured, unless you forget your face at home, that is when you will not be able to vote. But with the new innovation, we want to tell you that nobody, and this one is really PWD friendly now. So you have that right for those people that do not have fingers. And on election day, this idea is done to BVAS by Modern Voter Accreditation System. And that is what we are going to use to authenticate either your fingers or your facials. So we want to tell you, INEC is making frantic effort to ensure that we capture all, irrespective of your disability. And also, on that election day, that BVAS, after the election, will turn to INEC. That is INEC Result Election View Portal. So, you know, normally on election day, we tell people if you really want to monitor how your votes are being counted and things like that. But with this INEC, we want to tell you, you can go to your houses, sleep, even snore, because we are telling you that this INEC, we capture all the results of the polling units. The ECATA will be uploaded on the area. So you will see from one unit to the other the result of each vote being cast at each polling unit. So it is, INEC is telling you that it is not business as usual that we say ahead. But this time around, it is the real business, and we ensure that your vote counts. The new Electoral Act 2022, Section 9, Subsection 1, states that INEC register of voters should be disaggregated by disability status and type of disability. This is a signpost of future actions to address the need of PWDs along the disaggregation lines. Then during the registration, we have one form called EC1. Ruba, please come around. EC1, please, for subsequent registration, I know some of you know about it. Ensure, insist that registration official is EC1 to fill that form. So that one will show us the number. Please show to them. So that one will show and will record the type of disabilities we have at each polling unit, so that we know how to make use of provide adequate provisions for those people that will need magnifying glasses, for those people that will use braille. So please ensure that this is filled for you. And as well, on election day, we have something we call EC48. EC48 is here to Uber will show you front. Ensure you tell the poll clerk there that is handling that I belong to the PWD community and I have social disability. I want you to fill the EC48 for me. Ensure and insist that that form is filled. It will really help. And let me tell us that as we speak now, on the 12th of this month to 18th, we embarked on display of preliminary voter register at all our 245 areas in Lagos State. We just concluded on Saturday. And we also brought out our cards of those people that registered between 2011 that by 2019 and the new CDR we just concluded July. Please mark my word. July 2021 to December. Their cards are there. We brought them out. And for those people that registered January this year to July when we rounded it up, their cards are not yet available. So after the 18th, we did something called claims and objection as well. Claims and objection means you came out to check the correctness of your data in the register. Because if your name is not on the register on the election day, this does not, you are not talking about disability this time around. For all eligible Nigerians that will want to vote, your name must be on the register. So you had that opportunity of coming out to check the correctness of your data on the register, whether there is omission, whether your data was not correctly captured, or we have underage. That is where you will also help us. I cannot do it on the own. And we know that a credible election is based on a very credible register. A credible register is the bedrock of clean, of good election. And that is why we are calling on our people. Please come out this time around. Come and check. We have non-Nigerians on the register. If you have underage, if so many things, so you have that opportunity of coming. If we still one way now, we have left the area, but we are now back at our local government offices. And this one will still be on between 19th and 25th of this month. So the collection of cards is still ongoing as well. We want to tell our people that we ensure that all PVCs will be produced. But that's what we are waiting now. When we have the cards, we make it public. We go on rallies, we go for market outreaches, we publicize on radio, television, we tell our people to come out and collect their cards. So please just try and exercise patience. If you have registered or you have transferred or you have the face card, you did it this year, please exercise patience. Your cards will be made readily available for you. However, it is imperative that PWDs must take cognizance of their electoral rights and responsibilities and the special interventions already introduced to support the PWDs in preference of taking ownership of the electoral process for a massive participation in the forthcoming 2023 general election. And in conclusion, and on behalf of the Commission, I wish to acknowledge and express our appreciation with the ABLE Foundation as an important stakeholder in the electoral process and all of the organizations of persons with disabilities that work tirelessly to ensure that its members are registered and for the continued provision of the enabling environment, structural support, and encouragement to PWDs to exercise their franchise in the electoral process. And to also reassure you all that INEC is fully prepared and will leave no stone unturned to ensure successful conduct of accessible, inclusive, free, fair, transparent, and credible election come 2023. And on the final note, please let me tell you this. Do not sell your vote. That's your PVC, is your right, is your voice, is your power. Exercise it wisely on election day. Thank you very much.
Please give Madame a resounding round of applause as she comes back up to join us. She has shown, please, until she's seated, please do not stop. Until she's seated, please do not stop. Because she has come with evidence to show us persons with disability beyond reasonable doubt that INEC is ready for us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for bringing the evidence. Thank you for the pattern with which you and the other leaders in INEC are serving us. So, please, my esteemed audience, as you are passing the evidence that Madam has shown us, as you are passing them around, please keep in mind that I have no doubt that there will be opportunities for us to understand better how to use this material. So please, let's just keep in mind that with this information we have, we're getting at least know that these things are available. They have planned for us. This is the evidence of what they have planned for us. Pass it around very quickly. There is no need for you to attempt to understand how to use it now. I'm sure there will be the appropriate time for that. Please let's be our brother's keeper and make sure that everyone in the hall has an opportunity to touch the evidence Madam has brought. Have we been enlightened about what is possible from INEC in Southwest? Yes or yes? Please give Madam another round of applause, please. So very quickly, we're going to move on to the INEC representative from Abuja. Madam had already gone ahead to specify that she would give us additional information, maybe more around the technical things, as Madam said. So while she prepares to tell us the information she has for us, I just want to remind us once again, all of us in this room are responsible and accountable to take the right information back to our communities when we get back home. And I'd like to give Madam feedback that for the first time in my decades of being eligible, I actually registered for the first time under the continuous voter registration program this year. And honestly, as I showed up as a person with disability, I was honestly in and out in less than 10 minutes. So it is true, it is working. My community, we need to do our part. They have prepared for us, we need to show up. So a round of applause as we hear what is in place for us from the federal side. A round of applause, please.
Great PWD. Great PWD. Greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the PWD. My name is Benny Good News. I want to quickly appreciate our resident electoral commissioner, Lagos State, ably represented by Mr. David C. Ajayi, the administrative secretary. I want also to appreciate the HOD rep, Mrs. Adenike. She's my boss. I want to appreciate our desk officers here, Mr. Newby, that represented the rep of Osun State. I want to also appreciate the disability desk officer of Lagos State, Mr. Luka. And also I want to thank our Foundation for this wonderful opportunity. And also thank Dr. Dolako for this opportunity once again. You know, when you have a boss as a forerunner, it's very easy for you. My boss has said a lot of things, so my own is just to add a little bit to what she has said. So she stepped down, and need me also to step down there and do what I have to do. Thank you.
Please, a round of applause as she goes down to the podium, please. Please do not stop until she gets to the podium. That will help your moderator know what is happening. Thank you so much for the support.
Somebody will be wondering, what is she carrying? I'm carry some things that I think should be needed for what we're about to talk about.
Thank you.
Yes, to talk on voting requirement and procedure. For this particular event, it's called Able to Vote, right? What does it mean? That we are able to vote. Okay, now I want to ask, are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Are we ready to take it by storm?
Yes, sir.
Stability issue is something that is a front burner in the nation and all over the world. You can't say that persons with disability can be ignored. No way. Why? Because without them, we can't function well. We need them to be part of the system to make sure that everything we are doing as a commission is very, very inclusive. So since 2014 till now, the Commission has been working assiduously hard to ensure that persons with disabilities are mainstreamed totally into the electoral process. How did they start this? They created elected officers from top to all the states in the city, including FCT. And the elected officers have been already been trained on disability inclusion matters. Before the creation of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, INEC already had in place, like my boss said, the INEC Framework on Access, which was launched to the public 18 September 2018. And that year also, in Osun State, that was when we introduced the Braille ballot guide. Somebody will say, what is INEC doing? We've been doing quite a lot. But like I keep saying, wherever we go to, we can't do this alone. We need all stakeholders to be on board to assist the Commission to ensure that whatever we're putting in place gets to persons with disabilities. So for this particular election, today, excuse me in the hall, hello.
Madam Lenny, please let me just step in. Please, for anyone who is not here for this discussion, kindly leave the hall. For anyone who is not part of learning through this process, kindly step out of the hall so that you do not disturb for those of us who have a responsibility to go and give the information back to our community. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to say something, but please, you just need to step out to do so. I think what we're doing here is so important that per time that we have someone upstanding in front of us, we need to give them the courtesy of our attention. And I know we persons with disability are very happy about this opportunity to be able to be part of what is going on in our country. So for the few people who are not interested in this process, it's okay to step out and come back when you have finished whatever you want to say. But for now, please, she's giving us really important information. Let's not forget, we have 6 states represented in the audience. This is the finale for Southwest. The best was kept for last. It should not be heard that we do not pay attention. Are we ready to pay attention? Yes or yes? Yes. For those who need to speak and it does not concern this matter, please step out. Quiet. Madam, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zabako. We are all ready, and I'm sure they are ready. So for this particular election, we have, let's say, 95 days to the election. Able to vote, and we say we are ready to vote. Please pay attention. On election day, for you to vote, you must have EBC. And I remember Dr. Ferdinand asked us whether we have our EBC. He said yes. So for you to vote in Nigeria, you must have what? EBC. That means you're ready to vote as a person with disability. And you must appear in person on election day. In some countries, they do voting by proxy, but on election day in Nigeria, you must appear at the polling unit to show your PVC to the INEC official. And when my boss was speaking, she said priority voting is given to persons with disabilities, pregnant mothers, nursing mothers, and the elderly. As a person with disability, you come into the polling unit on election day, please go to the front of the queue. Why? Presiding officers, all election managers staff that will be on duty on election day, they've all been trained on disability inclusion. And we keep training and retraining until the election is done. When you present yourself, they will be able to do what? Attend to you. The polling unit will start at 8:30 and end. The polling procedure will start at 8:30 and end at 2:30. when the last person on the queue must have voted. What does that mean? It means that if you come, not for persons with disabilities, you're given priority, you vote, and you leave. And if you choose to stay, it's your choice. But for other voters who are already on the queue, even when it's 2:30, nobody can join the queue, but they are allowed to vote before counting will begin. BVOTE, Baroda Voter Authentication System, will be used for this election. It will capture your face if your fingerprint cannot be read. Remember before now we are using the smart card reader? That made it a little bit difficult for those that suffer the leprosy or other people who don't have fingers, maybe due to accidents or anything. For now, if you can capture your fingerprints, they will read your face and be allowed to vote. They will check your name on the voter register. When she was talking, we did what we call the polling unit access, where the polling units were decongested, so they made it closer to the people. And I'm sure that those of you that registered in the polling units that are closer to where you live, to make mobility easy for you on election day. When they confirm after the accreditation and authentication, you'll be given a ballot paper that is stamped, signed, that date is signed on it. Please go straight to the voting booth and cast your vote for the person of your choice. The ballot paper will be like this, and you are expected to fold it vertically when you vote. Be careful so you don't smear the ink on another party, so that your vote will not be what? Invalid. Be careful to vote in the box of the party or the candidate where you actually want to vote. Do it neatly and fold it vertically and put in a ballot box. You're not allowed on election day to come to the unit with your phones. Why? Because we know what happens on election day. Some people will vote, snap it, show to the political party agents, and then collect something. A lot of blames we pass to INEC shouldn't be so. Some of these blames we should take it by ourselves. The Commission has said, don't come to the polling unit with your phones. You still see people on election day coming to the units, and they want to vote and sell their votes. I want to tell us, our community, my community, yes, you're my community, because I've been in this disability for a very long time now. You're my community. Let us not sell our votes. We are looking at the time where maybe after 2023, the next election. Hello. The next election will have persons with disability standing as governors, senators, even presidents. Why not? We have people that are intelligent, people that are smart. They can do it. Think about the way you went to school against all odds. You were able to conquer. You succeeded. Take this political matter as the same thing. Be part of the system. Because when you don't vote, you actually enable those who are not supposed to be there to be there.
Sure.
You have a lot of obstacles that will make you to say, on election day, let me stay at home. But no, tell yourself, it's time for us to take it.
Sure.
Mr. Jake was speaking, he said that we need to give it to you people. No, it's time to take it because it's been given. Why am I saying so? We have the INEC framework, we have the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, we have the Disability Act, we have the Commission, and INEC has tried to provide a lot of things too that will assist us. If we're not doing anything, at least we started something. We're not where we used to be. She has showed us the gray ballot guide used for 2019 general election. I have the one we used for the one that was used for Osun and Ekiti election. That one is shorter because now we have 18 political parties. We have 18 political parties, making it easy for the commission. This one was used for Ekiti and Osun. The parties are 18, so it's very short. So So for this 2023, it may come this way or that way. This one is very, very expensive because it was produced outside the country. But this one is in-house, as in Nigeria, made in Nigeria. So I don't know, whichever one you see on that gray ballot guide will be provided.
So it's going to go around. Please make sure that after you've touched it, you've expressed it, pass it on so that it will go around quickly. All these materials that we are getting that are samples for us to just experience, they must all be submitted back, please, just for us to do. Go ahead, madam.
All right, she showed us the magnifying glass we used for 2019 election. For the 2022, right, 2022 election in Ekiti, we use this one. This is the magnifier. We work together with the ABLE Foundation to get this one, right? This one, you can use it at night. Let's say you're voting till into the night. If the battery is there, it can show light. So the person with ability, you will be able to use this to read the ballot paper on election day and cast out your vote for the candidate of your choice. This is the one used for Ekiti and Osun. I said it earlier. It will be made available for the 2023 general election. We also have
if we want to clap, please let's clap. You can see they are so ready for us. They are ready for us.
we have what we call poster EC30 EWD, written instruction. It's going to be very big, not the size. This one was photocopied because we are trying to update the information of it. It's basically for the deaf or hearing impaired person who can read. If you come to the unit on election day, it will be posted in the unit. So when you read it with pictures, telling you what you are expected to do at the polling unit. So when you read it with the pictures, you understand the procedure. But still, you are expected to go to the front and cast your vote. But as a person with disability who cannot do it by his or herself, please come to the unit with a person of your choice, assist you on election day. Like the hearing impaired who cannot read, who can come with an interpreter, an assistant. The visually impaired person who cannot read the braille, you can come with your assistant or somebody to aid you to do this. But INEC is just trying to ensure that by all means, according to international standards, that your vote is secret. If you can read braille, you can be able to use it. Like I said earlier, the ballot paper will be printed exactly the way this is. That is for 2019, this was used 2019. So for this election, it's going to be 18 political parties. So the ballot paper will be as short as the one you have there, 18 political parties. It will be inserted. This is just a jacket. That's what it is. This gray ballot guide is a jacket. So you insert, the presiding officer will put the ballot paper inside this jacket. So as a visually impaired person, if you can read braille, when you touch it, the first one to hear is A, at third party. You just press, there's a line too, an enforcement in form of dots that takes you to the open decorated area where you can print. So if you can read A, party A, and you want to vote for party A, you just go here, touch with me, and then decorate. Remember the ballot paper is inside. So when you do that, voted for the party of your choice. And then they'll bring it out with you and fold it vertically and put it back into the ballot box. Remember, INEC has gone a step further by getting the disaggregated data of persons with disability in all the units and wards in this country, following the CBR we just conducted. So for this 2023 general election, we are already planning that in polling unit A, we have 10 persons that are visually impaired. We don't need 10 gray ballot papers, ballot guides. We only need one because all we do is put the ballot paper inside this jacket. Like I said, it's a jacket. So 10 persons that are visually impaired can use this jacket and still drop it. The ballot paper will be individual. I don't know whether I'm making sense.
Yes.
But this jacket, we can keep one in a unit and 10 or 20 persons with visual impairment can read it. The same thing with the magnifier. In every unit where we identify persons with low vision or persons with albinism, we are going to provide these things in all those units to ensure that when they come, they'll be able to use it, vote, and vote. So INEC is fully prepared. It's an inclusive organization. We've been working so hard to ensure the mainstreaming of persons with disabilities into the electoral process. So many people are surprised that we can get sign language interpreters in all the polling units. It's capital intensive. And what the Commission has done or is still doing is to educate the sign language interpreters on the election or voting procedure, so that when they get down to their own locality, they'll be able to help us educate the hearing impaired on voting procedure. Looking forward after 2023, maybe the Commission will be able to do that. But for now, we are not able to provide sign language interpreters in all the units. But I still advise, like I said, every sign language interpreter that is qualified, when you look at ad hoc staff recruitment portal and you are qualified, please apply. Please apply. Not as a sign language interpreter now. You are applying as an INEC ad hoc staff. I don't know whether I'm making sense.
Yes, ma'am.
With persons with disabilities. Remember, we have gone through a past charity model. We're talking about what? Rights. If you are qualified, before people start shouting about 5%, it's already in our INEC framework and assets. We have 5%. During employment, INEC is employing, and you're a person with disability who is qualified, please apply. It's your right. And like my boss said when she was speaking, we have persons with disabilities scattered in all our states. As at the last count, we have about 37 of them before now. So whenever we're doing employment and you're qualified, you're not begging anybody. Apply. Once you're qualified, you'll be considered. Your 5% is there. It's already there by the Commission. Our framework, which we equally transcribe into grade, is there. Everybody is on our website, and it's there for everybody to use it, read it, and understand what the Commission is doing. I think that's all I can say for the election.
Please, a round of applause. And please do not stop until she gets back up beside me. And as we're clapping, you know, she gave so many things about reinforcing the information of how INEC is ready for us. And the topic should continue because I'm not aware that she's here yet. Please do we have better information now? Do we know that they are ready for us? Please, that topic needs to sound. Thank you, Madam Benny. I'm sure that all of us are now, thank you so much to the Albino Foundation. I am sure there's a lot that we were not sure about, that now we know for certain, and we can take very good information back to the 6 states of Southwest Nigeria, where the finale of this is happening. In quick succession, we'll be going to Mr. Okwe first, where he will share his insights with us, and finally we'll go to Dr. Adebayo, who will talk around mobilizing the community and why we should not have any excuse. Now, for those who did not really pay attention during Madam Bernie's information provision to us, please be aware that there is going to be a prize. There is going to be a prize. The prize is a really big prize. And the question that is going to be coming is going to be around the appropriate handling of our ballot paper. So get ready, and please, unfortunately, I cannot attempt to win the prize, but I assure you, the prize is a big prize. Are we ready to attempt to be the ones to win the prize? Yes or yes? Yes. It will be interesting to see which of the 6 states of Southwest will win that prize. So please, with a round of applause, we would call up Mr. Okwe to please share his insights. I'm not sure if it's going down. please, I understand it's going down. Oh, please wait for someone is coming here. Does it have assistance? So please, on his way down, please, the applause should not stop. As you can see, we have many people who are very, very interested in making sure we have all the information we need from all aspects. Is he at the podium? Yes? Yes? Or not yet? Okay, no problem. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Ofe. Thank you, sir.
Great PWDs. Great PWDs.
Great.
Greatest of the 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 greatest. Thank you. My name is Okolu Akiola, and I'm involved in disability advocacy. I'm a person with disabilities. I'm also a technology consultant because I believe that it's not just about thinking of what to do, but also knowing how to do it. That's what makes the right possible. The right is when we say you should be able to do this, you should get this. But the right is not yet active until it can be enforced. Is it not so? So, talking about the Electoral Act, okay, I also should mention that I have a master's in disability studies. That is because yes, that is because we have to understand disability not just because we live with it, but because we have to understand how disability affects our society and other people in it as a whole. So now I'm talking about insights on my experience as a person with disabilities and electoral rights. That's what firstly, we have to understand, why do we have rights? Why do we have rights as persons, and then why do rights have to be for persons with disabilities? It was in 1948 that we had the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, right? And all through until around 1993, nobody bothered to think that disability was a very important part of human rights. Now, in 1993, we had the Salamanca Framework. Okay, let me not go into history. Let's just get quickly. So now, we move on to our own country. Nigeria is a signatory to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which we have also ratified. At least, this is 2022. We ratified it about 5 years ago. And so it is very active in our country before we have the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act from 2019. And I think one of the panelists, okay, that's the INEC voter education official, mentioned the Lagos State Special People's Law of 2011. All these are laws. Laws say this is what has to happen. This is what you are entitled to. This is what other people have to do. And those are what set your rights, the laws. Now, coming to the electoral part of it, we've been hearing for the past maybe 30 minutes or so what INEC has been doing to ensure that persons with disabilities can vote in Nigeria independently. But there's another part of voting. For most democracies, voting is being able to register your choice, but also to do so in secret. That is something we must bear in mind at this point. And the secrecy of our vote is also because it is also a security issue, especially when passions are very hot. For example, I know that it is possible that a household can be split on political grounds, just because somebody knows who the other person voted for. So secrecy is a very important part of our electoral rights. And secrecy and independence go together. Electoral rights are as sacred as your financial rights. Just the way you would not want anybody else to have access to your bank account and know exactly how much money you earned, how you spent your money and all that. It's exactly how important it is that you do not allow anybody else as much as possible to know what your political leanings are and who you voted for. Okay, so that has set the secrecy of our ballots. So now we've gone on through the two technical procedures based on the fact that one good thing is disaggregation of data from INEC in ensuring that the rights are expressed. We have electoral laws in Nigeria. There was one before the 2022 electoral law. The 2022 electoral law mentioned disability in quite a number of places. I couldn't count it, but I found disability in quite a few places in that law, which means that somehow Nigeria is becoming very, very conscious of disability. And then, why is disability so important? Why do persons with disabilities have to have rights? Why do we have to be included? Because disability does not stop you from being an asset. If disability is not properly managed, it creates a liability. The person who uses a disability becomes a liability to themselves and to the society. However, where rights are properly applied and used, persons with disabilities become national assets, they become assets to themselves, they become productive, and therefore they become an asset to the entire nation. This is something we must always hammer on when we are talking about disability rights. It doesn't just look like somebody just wakes up and says these people should have rights. It's a fact that when the rights are properly applied, everybody benefits, both the person with a disability and all the people around them who do not have disabilities. For example, a blind person who uses a guide cane and can move around independently in the environment does not need to have a sighted guide with them all the time. That means that two people are free to enjoy their lives. The blind person can you can carry out the activities independently, and the person who would have had to submit their own freedom just to ensure that that blind person functions, that person too is free. So we are talking about two people being released to put their potentials into the growth of the society. So that's something we must always bear in mind, and that's something I stand for, to tell you that that's what's happening in my life, and I think that's what's happening in the life of every person who is a person with ability and the society. Okay, so now, we said it's about assets and liabilities, and then we talk about rights and charity. The UNCRPD, that is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, and all other laws and conventions that we have mentioned here, came out because we are moving from a charity position of disability to a right-based position. Charity is when people do things for you because they think it is good. So you give people money because it is good. You build a school and put people in it or a home where they are fed and trained on the few skills because it is good. But you don't expect anything to come out of them. As far as you are concerned, they are still a kind of separate class of people who are underprivileged. And we continue to hear in certain circles the underprivileged. That is a charity model kind of phrase. And it presupposes that the other person is superior to you as a person with disability. Persons with disability, are we inferior? No. Those people who do not have the disability in this hall, are persons with disabilities inferior? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that is a very, very fundamental part of what we are doing here today. Our basic assumption is that nobody is inferior in this hall to the other person. That is a very fundamental basis on which we are going to talk. So now, That is charity. Charity is opposing that one set of people are inferior, and those that are superior are to be kind to them and to help them, to give them whatever they need and make sure that they are happy. Then the right-based approach says that I have an impairment. We'll be mentioning things like blindness, deafness, ability. All these things are more like medical conditions or impairments. They are not the disability. The disability is what happens when you have those impairments, because the society is designed in such a way that you cannot function as independently and as productively as other people. So this is something we must separate in our minds. The charity says, I am inferior, so they must help me. Because I am blind, I am an inferior person. Because I am deaf, the right-based model says, I am blind. Therefore, I need to read Braille or to listen to things that other people can read with their eyes. It doesn't make me, if you just means I have to do the same thing in a different way, and I can do it as effectively as the next person. But I may use a different way of doing it. This is what has been captured in INEC. I remember what the electoral thing was like, what voting was like in Nigeria before 2019. When it was totally necessary for us to go to the polling booth. And I'm talking as a blind person. Sometimes it's very indignifying when I have to look for a sighted person to take me to the polling booth. And then when we get there, the person has to enter the cubicle with me and say, yeah, what so do you want to vote for? In some cases, I've had people whispering to me saying, no, you can't vote for those people now. I mean, that's not anybody's business, is it? So the person wasn't even supposed to know who I was voting for instead of trying to convince me. So how was I able to be sure that my finger was not placed on his own choice of a candidate? Because previously to 2019, a lot of persons with disabilities lost their, some were not even able to enter the polling booth because of mobility issues. Some did not get enough voter education to know which parties and what the symbols and all that were. For those especially who maybe they be deaf and then they illiterate at the same time, you can imagine the problem. And then people who were blind will get to the polling booth all right, and somebody else might just vote for someone else for them. They will use their fingers to vote for exactly who they don't want. So these are the issues that were coming up because it was charity back then. But in 2019, for the first time, we learned from the news that there was a brave ballot guide for us, and then we also knew about priority voting, that when you get to the polling booth, you have priorities. You don't have to queue as a person with disabilities. And then we also learned that the INEC officials were also trained to watch out for persons with disabilities. But something very vital was missing. Disability was not really captured in the voter registration process, which means that it was even difficult for INEC to disaggregate the voting situation based on disability, an essential part of planning. So today, we sat down with hard. Between 2019 and 2022, a lot has happened. Why has it happened? Because there are laws. If there are no laws, you cannot hold anybody accountable. So, firstly, I know this is not political campaigning. I'm talking about life. I think we ought to give President Muhammadu Buhari a round of applause for signing the the Disability Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act. It was a very important thing. It came out of pressure, of course, but at least that he even did it. He could have easily politicized it and we would not have that law today. Now we have that law. Because that law is there and it is being activated by the commission that was set up and other disabled persons organizations, including the various cluster groups and journal page, you can see what is happening in Nigeria. Things are changing. the rights-based approach is very important. And another thing that I think we should now pick as a person with disabilities for me is beneficiary education. And when we hear, I'm sure a lot of persons with disabilities that came into this hall were surprised at the kind of things that INEC has announced today. Am I correct? Yeah. The reason is not far-fetched. When they were introducing people into this hall at the beginning, I took note that the National Orientation Agency was mentioned. I hope they are still around. Where there's a very loud silence. Oh, they did not come. Do you see what I mean? So, this is the thing about rights. When laws are made and societies decide this is how we want to do things, it is important that citizens know what has been decided, how it affects them, and how they can benefit or at least participate. That is what the duty of agencies like the NOA, National Orientation Agency, and other information, the media, and people who pass information, that's their duty. I mean, we hear often that ignorance of the law is not an excuse to break it, don't we? Yes. That is for you as a citizen. But a society that wants to practice that can only be fair if there's enough information about the laws and provisions so that the citizen does not have an excuse to even be ignorant. So now, I think it is important that we have to leverage on the existing infrastructure among persons with disabilities. In 2012, I was in South Africa for a program, and one of the things that was hammered upon in that process was beneficiary information in any right-based intervention. How I will define the move of INEC, the great strides they are taking in ensuring that Nigerians living with disabilities can vote independently and effectively. I will call it a right-based approach to disability inclusion. And therefore, there are two sides to it. The person who is providing the service and the person who is going to benefit from the service. Usually, the service provider is the stronger partner. So INEC is the stronger partner in this case because they have all the resources there. They are the ones creating the templates and all that. But the disability community is the beneficiary. It is essential that the beneficiary knows what is available and how to participate using what is available. And from what I've just said now, we can find out that there is a kind of weakness in that direction. The major reason why I, as a person with disabilities, as a blind person, was very reluctant to take part in the electoral process, both as a voter and as a contestant, is because I already had it in my mind that the process had excluded me. I was not expected by society to be there. That was my assumption. It started changing in 2019, and I think today it has changed a lot more.
Please, a round of applause to INEC.
But it hasn't changed completely. The picture hasn't changed completely. And the reason is education, voter education. I think that INEC has done their part, but all other government agencies should work with INEC. It should be in tandem. It should be a collaboration and partnership with all the tiers of government, all other government agencies, also working with disabled people's organizations to ensure that the information and the skills are passed downwards. And so when the time comes, people with disabilities turn out in their numbers, ready to vote because they have the knowledge of how to go about it and what to do. So when you say, are we ready to vote? We are already ready, we are ready in our minds, but are we ready? Do we really know what to do? I'm not sure all of us know. So now, between now and the time we start casting our ballots, it is essential that the voter education program should be stepped up so that we are part of it, we know what we are doing, and our disabled people organizations and our basic communities are aware and we begin to know. If there's going to be a voting ballot, whatever, it is also possible to create a kind of prototype that will be disseminated among the various disabled people organizations where it is relevant. So that before that day, people would have had an idea how it is and whatever. And so by the time we get to the polling booth, we are not jittery, we are not afraid of making mistakes. We are psychologically ready to cast our votes in secrecy and efficiently. That is when we would have achieved our rights. That's when we are sure that everybody has worked together to ensure that the voting rights of persons with disabilities have been activated. I don't know how much time I have. I think I've said quite a bit, and I think we can leverage on this and build on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please, we give Mr. Ope a round of applause as he continues to make his way back up to his seat. And for a round of applause to him, please, because you know, at least he has been voting before. He has said the gaps that were there, and then at least the needle seems to be moving. Is Mr. Ope back on his seat now? Please, a round of applause for him as he sits down. So, key takeaways from what Mr. Ope, as a fellow community member of the Persons with Disabilities Committee, has said. There's the part where the rights are in place, the law is there, the statutory body responsible has done their bit, in this case is INEC. There's the responsibility of you and I, and I'll be coming soon to Dr. Adebayo, where he speaks to us about community mobilization. It's an opportunity once again to say thank you so much to the Albino Foundation for making sure this happens. Because personally, I would not have known INEC was ready for me. But based on what we know now, first things first, is INEC ready for us, yes or yes? Yes. Based on what Mr. Ope has discussed with us, is there something we need to do, yes or yes? Yes. Are we ready to do what we need to do to exercise our rights, yes or yes? Yes. So I will go to Dr. Adebayo now, where he will speak to us about community mobilization. I mean, all this hard work has already been done. What is making us not trust the process? We might not have heard about it the way we prefer, but all of us in this room, representing the 6 states of Southwest, have the responsibility to take that message now. But what might be the things that will mitigate against us not still trusting the process? I mean, everything is in place. What will now be our excuse as persons with disability? Please, a round of applause as I pass the mic to Dr. Adebayo.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon. Hello. All right. Thank you, Albino Foundation, for this great opportunity to, know what INEC is doing. And I think I'm one of the happiest persons today because back in 2012, we started this whole campaign around inclusive election. And I remember we and a couple of people in this hall had the opportunity to start that process. And it looked as though it wasn't going to happen, but INEC has been one of the most, if not the most, disability inclusive organization in Nigeria. And I am saying this with evidence. In 2014, we worked with INEC in Lagos to start the priority voting exercise. I remember we were part of those who designed the INEC IEC materials. It was even presented at the INEC office in Yaba. That was 2014. So it didn't just start in 2019. INEC has been at it for as long as I can remember. So please let's appreciate INEC again. Now, INEC has done what it needs to do, and I know they will continue to innovate. Nobody ever stops thinking until we are dead. INEC will not die. Amen. They will continue to live on and do the needful for us. But like the last speaker said, the ball has been passed to us. 84,000 out of 30 million people with disabilities is like a drop in the ocean. And you and I and every one of us, persons with disabilities in Nigeria, in Lagos State, in the Southwest, have a huge responsibility. If you are a person with disability like me here, let me ask you a question. Have all your problems been solved? No. Are you sure? Yes. I don't think so. Have all your problems been solved? No. If that is the case, do we need INEC to beg us to come out and register? No. If you know you still have issues, you have problems, you have things that you want government to do for you, do you need INEC to come out to beg us to come out and register? No. It means that the ball is with us now. 2 weeks ago, Jonathan Lagos, which I have the opportunity to lead, we organized a media conference and we prepared what we call demand charter. That is our demand that we are going to present to the elector, to the candidates, gubernatorial candidates in Lagos State, House of Assembly candidates in Lagos State, National Assembly candidates in Lagos State. We prepared, the council election is not happening now, but at least the general election for 2023, we have prepared a demand charter that we are going to present. That is an example of mobilization. Hello. As we leave this place, we will find a way to get that charter, and I'm asking our Vino Foundation to support us so that we can pass this demand charter across to the candidates. As a matter of fact, some of us are going to attend one town hall this evening where we are going to be interrogating some of these candidates. That is part of mobilization. In Lagos State Jonapid, we have so structured ourselves such that we have Jonapid in every local government in Lagos State now. So our job as Jonapid, as civil society, as OPD, is not to go and be fighting and be saying, oh, you must, in as much as it's our right to support different political parties. But under the umbrella of Jonapid, we will not keep quiet until we have mobilized every one of us who are persons with disabilities, parents of people with disabilities, siblings of people with disabilities, husbands of people with disabilities, wives of people with disabilities, relatives and friends of people with disabilities. I always say something that if you win the heart of a person with a voter with disability, you win at least the heart of 10 other voters, isn't it? Yeah. Because we have brothers and sisters, we have siblings, we have parents, we have friends. Like Mr. Obiakiola said, if a person with disability is not empowered, so many other people are disempowered, isn't it? Yeah. Because it becomes a burden to his parents, to his siblings, to his friends, and even his community. And so I always felt this is our power now, this is our own power, to demand from politicians what we think we deserve, what we need. Because if we don't come out to register, there's no way you are going to come out and vote. So if you have come out to register, please make sure you come out and collect your PVCs. And once you collect your PVC, this is the time to now mobilize. tell our parents that look, we know that X candidate or B candidate will do what he says he will do, so that we can have value. Because if we don't have value, politicians will not take us serious. If we do not mobilize our numbers, if we do not use the numeric strength that we have, no politician will take us serious. But now that INEC has made it possible that every vote will count, unlike the day that they usually write results somewhere that people will come and scatter the vote and there will be violence, and now they know that they can no longer disrupt the voting system. They know that every vote will count, isn't it? Yeah. From the polling unit, everybody is posting results, isn't it? Yeah. So there's no room for cheating again, or at least has been reduced to the barest minimum. So PWDs, people with disabilities, this is the time for us to take advantage and let politicians know that our votes count and we have the numeric strength to turn the tide of election. Is that clear? Yeah. So as we leave this place, we are going to our homes, we are going to our communities to mobilize our people, to let them know that they need to come out and vote, they need to come and collect their PVCs, they need to come out and vote, they need to interrogate the candidates, they need to participate in town halls like we are doing here, they need to go to where political debates are going on so that they can ask questions. And come what? Jonathan has made it easy for you. We have produced your demand charter. What you will need to ask the questions, we have produced it for you. So please let us all come out. I don't need to go through any theory or history. This is the time to do our own sensitization. And INEC and the ABLE Foundation has given us the platform. They've given us the mic, haven't they? They've asked they told us to sọ̀rọ̀ sókè, isn't it? Wọ́n ti ní ká ṣe kí ni? Ká ṣe kí ni? So if you don't sọ̀rọ̀ sókè, then they won't hear you. And if you don't use your PVC as your bragging rights, they won't take you serious. So you understand? Are you okay with where you are? Many of us, we know what we go through public transport. We know what our children are going through in schools. We know how many of us are jobless, isn't it? So if we know we are not satisfied, then why do we now sit at home when INEC says come out and register? Or come out and collect your PVC? Or come out and vote? So ladies and gentlemen, this is the time is now. 2023 is the revolution year. It's the year of PWDs. Isn't it? Yes. It is our year, isn't it? Yes. We need to go out and mobilize. Association of the Blind, Association of the Deaf, Association of Physical Disability, Association of Persons with Albinism, Association of Parents of Children with Disabilities, Association of Persons with Psychosocial Disabilities. How many associations? Association of people with dwarfism. We are very many now, isn't it? I always tell that we told them in 2011 that if people with disabilities come out and vote, we can decide who becomes governor of any state. Yes. We can decide who wins the National Assembly. Yes. So please, let us not just say yes. Let us say yes with action. And the action is you are done with registration. Come out and collect your PVC. That's the first action. The first action is come out and do what? Collect your. And the next action is come out and join the campaign. Come out and join the campaign. Ask them questions. Tell them that you told us in 2019. You said you will do A, you will do B, you will do C. Have you done it? If the answer is no, ask them why. Show them your PVC. Okay? Unfortunately, I didn't come with mine. I was going to use it to do my bragging rights. If they didn't tell me in time, I will have come with my PVC to do my bragging rights. So ask them the questions. So that they will know that we are conscious now. Again, the secret is that the votes will now count. Though. No more wuru-wuru, no more ojoro, no more cheating, no more. If that go and disrupt the police will catch them.
Nobody this summer.
You get it? Everything is now intact. Bivas is there. Abi? And they provided us with our braille guide, magnifying glasses, isn't it?
Yes.
We must change the table this time around. In our favor. If it is the improvement that is in our favor, you retain them. And if it is not in our favor, you do what? You change them. Whichever way we know that will favor us, this is the time to come out. All the associations under our umbrella, all our friends, all our well-wishers, all those that have been supporting us, one way or the other, this is the time to engage with them and tell them, look, for every disabled vote, it is sustained. Isn't it? Yes. Me, my wife will vote. My son, my daughter that is at 18 years will do what? Vote. That is how many? 2. My sister, my brother, your friend, raise to power 10. In fact, that's the stand now. Go out and tell them that it is raised to power 10. Every disabled vote is raised to power 10. Wallahi, they will do what they want. But we must mobilize. Come out and collect our PVC. Join in the debate, ask questions, and on election day, come out and vote. Thank you very much.
A resounding applause for Dr. Adebayo. Do we have any excuse? Hello, PWP. Yes or yes? We don't have any excuse. Now we're quickly going to move on to question and answer. So if you still have questions, Mr. Nehemiah will be going around in the audience and will coordinate that. To pick up the questions, please, we want practical questions. We also want questions that concern INEC. The questions that concern candidates, go to the debates, go to the town halls, go and ask them there. The people who want to ask questions right here are who? INEC. So on our behalf, I'm curious about something. I'll come to the ladies, maybe my Lagos State, Madam will help us. So as a person with disabilities, if I am not autonomous enough to come by myself to the polling booth, and I come with someone, I'm sure us as persons with disabilities, we've experienced where, as a person with disabilities, we have quick access. But the person supporting us, will they now go back to go and join the queue? Or will they be permitted to, we need this to be explicitly said so that we all know and we know, and we want to also make sure that your officers at the booths also know, so that we will not argue that they, I mean, people, haven't you experienced this before, yes or yes? Yeah. So this is question number 1. Nehemiah, you will coordinate the other questions.
Okay, please, I'll have to swap the mic so this one can go to the back. Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll take a few other questions and our panelists will answer together. Is that okay? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Please, strictly questions for INEC. For the rest, you know where to go.
All right. So now we are at the question and answer session. I need to quickly take a census on how many questions we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Okay, you know what?
Sorry, please. Work out.
There might be some questions that are repeated, right? So let us look here the first 5 questions plus my own 6. Let's answer those ones. So if we don't have time, if we still not answer your question by then, let's examine it. Is that okay? Yes or yes? Yeah. Okay, fantastic. So Nehemiah, don't cheat us, please.
Okay, so I'm going to do it this way. We have to take some questions, so let's do it row by row. So I'll take about 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 at the back. All right.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Please, I'm Mr. Casey Johnson. I'm part of the health committee. I want to very much appreciate Article Foundation program. Very awesome. Beautiful. How do you listen to all speakers on? How do you listen to all the speakers on the platform? Permitting to draw the attention to the first speakers. That's one from the INC office and one from the office. Now, to visit all their phone, they have been so far. They have visited their phone, they have been so far. Now, on the matter of people deciding voting, then it means for us to look for physically at the days for people with hearing impairment. That's the dead people. Now, she said they are going to be something like a quota. Things across the polling booth for that can read or educated to understand. That, but now, we have some people that are not without the bush in that community. And very easy for them to read or write. So now, if people that you have to have people that are organizing the election, how do you go about this? I am making it and including that to have people like interpret and research. I want to tell you that you cannot go outside to bring interpreters. That is true. But a lot of them are saying, who can bring it as a work style to work for you? Because that's the danger.